Hey everybody, welcome back to Kingdoms Reborn. In the last episode, we got coffee, which led us to the industrial age. We have some goals for today's episode. One is to get to electricity so that we can upgrade our deep sea fishers. We need to get to steel production and possibly upgrade our coal production so that we can maintain having coal facilities up and going. And then medicine makers are an absolutely crucial thing that we need. So without further ado, let's go ahead and grab some technologies. Global footprint. Don't really know how good it is, as it gives us the foreign quarter, which gives us some upgrade points. Maybe useful, maybe not. We can get the gold smelter for the mint, something that was overpowered in the past where you were able to turn gold into coins. Machinery for an extra 30% for wood harvesting, and the tunnel, something that we will be building a couple of tunnels in this episode. Let's grab the concrete factory. Went ahead and pre-purchased some concrete. Then we do industrialization for the steelworks, and lastly electricity, which is just about to finish. And with that, we will pick up Cyprus over in the upgrades tree. So I'm going to go ahead and let that just finish as we click off all of our spam here. Now over here, this will be possibly the last technology that I pick up this episode. It's the Cypress, something that I want to do between episodes, just put Cypress between all the houses. Maybe go after the Sav Church for the extra 50% upgrade points and the victory point. Speaking of that, let's go ahead and pick up that steel card. We might need more foresters. Taking a look at the buy wood, let's pick up that immigration, and we have our units back from Radiant and nearby city for 385. Let's grab another raid card. I want to keep the raids going since we get so much money from the raids, and we'll go ahead and grab those immigrants and we'll raid these guys for 456. The raids are going really quick. This is something that I think is a little bit broken in the current pace of the game. Maybe because I waited for war as long as I did, it's just super overpowered. But getting 400,000 from raiding a city is just an incredible amount. It's something that in the past I avoided because it was pretty overpowered with the amount of influence points. It might be something that I avoid in a future playthrough, is that's just completely overpowered. Let's grab medicine makers next before we go for power, because I would like to get to the advanced medicine maker to see how good it is. I have a feeling that it's going to be reduced intake if it's anything like some of the other buildings of its class. But we'll go ahead and get these guys right here. I'm going to let them naturally build for a minute while we take a look at where we're going to place power. And maybe for our first one, we go over here for power. And I want to add in a buy order for concrete and steel. Let's get the power plant over here, see how it kind of plays out. So it's 1,500 for the card. It takes 14 workers. It used to only take one. That is a huge increase in the amount of workers that it takes. Let's get this right here. It does take steel, so this backs my thinking that we needed to get steel. So we'll go ahead and quick build that. I want this to be prioritized because I do want power up and going so that we can upgrade deep sea fisher, and we can upgrade probably medicine makers. It only produces 50 kilowatts. I have a feeling we're not going to be upgrading the production of bread until we get another one. So let's take a look at our trade, and we'll add concrete into this. Something that I did was I changed the bricks to it's 1,000, and I changed the wheat to 1,000 and tools to 1,000. Trying to get some laborers out of those facilities into other facilities. Let's go and bring this up to 1,000. We only need to bring it in 100 of the concrete at a time. I don't think that's a big issue. For steel, I think I want to bring in a little bit more steel than what I typically would. 100 steel is 5,000. Ultimately, I think it's going to pay for itself. Maybe we bring in 200 at a time. We've got plenty of money. Once we've done the upgrades, I don't think it's going to be a big issue. Maybe we even go up to 3,000 or 300 on it. Maybe we go to 3,000 on the amount that we have in stock at any given time. That way we can do a lot of upgrades all at once, as it's just going to kind of trickle in. Let's do, hey, the advanced medicine, and it's 2% to disease frequency per advanced maker in the city. I do want that, but I want to get rid of these first. And before we do that, let's take a look at this one. So it's 16 medical herbs to 16 of the medicine. If we adjusted the budget, we can see it takes it 16 to 22. Ultimately, that's okay. If we switch to mushroom, something that we're not on, it is a little bit less. And if we went to the bark extract, it's even further. So ultimately, we do want to be on the medicine, and we'll go ahead and grab our yearly cards here. Let's grab the steel card. And how much medicine do we have at this moment? So right now, we have 140 of the medical herbs. Let's get rid of this one, and then let's get the advanced version down here. I think this is going to be a big enough city center to maintain the advanced mushroom, the coal. Maybe not. This might not be a big enough one until we add more houses in here. This could be a problem. Even when we add more houses, this will take 2 houses worth of workers. This will take 2 houses worth of workers. I guess another 2 houses would be enough for the medicine maker. Let's see how many people the medicine maker takes. I didn't need that up there. Let's do advanced medicine. And so we take a look at it, 16 workers. So it's not quite the 20 of some of the other ones. So we'll make it work here, and we'll just add 6 more houses over here. Let's get this quick built. We'll do double sustainability to try to get the amount of medicine down. I would like to get 2 motivation in here to try to boost up the amount of medicine that it's produced, but at least for right now I want the amount of herbs at a minimum. We'll bump up everything. Let's grab our yearly immigrants, and we'll do the improved extraction for an extra 30%. We'll do the catalyst, and we will bring it right up to power. This will be pretty important. Let's see, we've got 700 steel. We are producing power. Let's do it. Let's take this to the extreme, and we do another run here. It takes us 115 to 207. We double sustainability at, and we're only using 54 to 200. We'll do it. We'll do this route, and then what we're gonna have to do, since this amount of herbs is not gonna last, let's go ahead and switch this over to bark extract until the next harvest, and then we'll do another push on it. Let's do one more level of the electric, try to keep pushing that. Not worried about technology for a little bit, and it uses 16 of our 50 kilowatts. So we're gonna have to use that very sparingly. It used to be things like bread and things were only a few kilowatts. So that's something to be mindful of. Let's go ahead and grab our immigrants. Let's grab, I guess, the productivity, and then let's get some houses planned out in here. So let's hide the trees. Let's do houses right here and right here. On this side, we'll do the same thing. And then I want to move that tavern. So I switched out all the schools with, well, all the taverns with schools. Found out that the taverns are necessary in order to have happiness. Without them, it dropped the entertainment down to under 100. Something that I was not expecting. I was thinking that it was gonna use the theater and it was gonna be plenty good. Let's throw all of our different motivation books up above. We'll take the tavern back and we'll throw that right here. I guess we're gonna have to place it off center by 1, but it gives us a road right here to make this area nice and blocked in. For the next thing that we want to bring into the electric age would be these fishers, and these guys are still full, so I'm going to prioritize this hauling post. Let's go ahead and give it 2 extra workers, and then we'll bring it first into the industrial age for a little over 1,300 fish, and then we give it power for 1,400. We'll take this all the way up until we're just shy of running out of steel, and we're up to 1766 per batch. So we'll come back and visit this once our steel has upgraded a little bit, and it looks like we just got another batch of steel, and so we'll do one more run for 1,800 per batch. These are going to be a powerhouse in our food economy, trying to keep us well fed. And as I click through all that spam, that is a lot of spam telling me that we've got a lot of upgrades. Let's start killing off all the pigs. We're going to make a transition to cattle, and I want to increase the size of the city block here so that we can get ready for chocolate enclosed production. So I want to get rid of that. We'll get another wood production down here. So let's grab a forester to make sure that we have coal production up and going. And I should start upgrading some of these old storages over to warehouses, but that can wait for a moment. Let's do forester there. Let's get a road this way, and I guess we do it. Let's go ahead and get rid of those, and then we'll add in another coal production. Speaking of coal production, let's bring this up to 3,000 for the time being. And for this, we want non-fruit trees. We're going to cut any trees. That's perfectly fine. We'll do a warehouse over here in the corner. They can naturally build those. And then we want to make the transition to advanced coal, since I don't think coal is going to be very good. If we take a look, we bring it into the Enlightened Age and the Industrial Age. I don't want to give it power, but it's only 64 per run. If we take a look, we're currently producing what looks like maybe 5 runs at the old rate. So we're going to want to make a huge push, because as we move to steel, we're going to need a lot of coal. Not only are we going to need a lot of coal for that, but we're going to need a lot of coal for our power plants. So let's add in a few more coal plants. in order to get to the advanced version. We'll see what the advanced version looks like, and then we'll judge whether we want to use advanced coal or whether we just want to stay with the standard coal burner. Let's do the steel, and then we'll do the immigration. I do think that we got to focus on getting wood up and going, because wood is dropping as we're probably starting to burn more of it in the not only the coal production but in tools and things and bread. Let's do all the upgrades in here, and we'll drop let's do 2 passion books in there for the time being. That will get it at least a little bit more efficiently. We're at 234%. Like to see this a little bit higher. Let's grab those immigrants. We'll grab that motivation book. Love to see them. And we just got our units back with 450,000. Guess we don't need the cannons up there. We'll wait on the advanced coal for the moment, and let's delete out these first. So if we take a look, I think it said minus consumption. So it might be that it's just not that it's more efficient, but that it's more, well, it is more efficient, but where it's going to be more efficient is it takes less wood to produce the coal. And what's weird is these only take wood to build. This is something that I'd like to see upgraded in the game, is where this is using, I guess, clay is what they were traditionally made from in the past, where I'd like to see this either take clay or take stone to make it work. Let's do it over here so it's away from our other city block. We'll get it right on this road line, and we'll just butt it right up against there. We'll do a road this way, and then we'll make this our next major area for coal. So we'll do another forester over here to go with it. Taking a look at our food, it looks like food is still rough. I'd like to upgrade one of our bakeries to see if we can get a little bit more food produced. Let's get this one going. I'm perfectly good if the charcoal burner slow builds. The same with the forester. Let's take a look and see how much power we are using. It looks like we are 36 of the 50. If we take a look at our bread, it takes, well, we should move them all to the industrial age. It takes 16. So I think we have enough for one. Let me just double check that. So we're going to be 1 kilowatt short. So we're going to have to add another of the power plants in order to start upgrading our bread. And that's why we're going after the production of the charcoal. We are not going to have enough charcoal for running that many power plants. Let's upgrade all these to the industrial age. We can see we're at 781, takes us to 813. Now we're going to make a big push to that our bakeries are as efficient as our fishers. Let's spend one more batch of steel on upgrading our fishers, and let's do that. Leaves us with 1700. I don't think that we have enough to upgrade all of them again. This would be 2400 to upgrade them. We're starting to get that diminishing return. Ultimately it's good, but at the same time that ultimately it's good, it's ultimately bad. We might see this push in the next upgrade. We might see this push 2000 per batch. That is a lot of food coming from there, and then we're going to have to start making the push to doing that from our bread facility so that we're spreading out where the steel is, because that's a lot of upgrades. Let's do coal production up here. Well, not coal production. We'll do the production of power up here, but we're going to get a forester up here to maintain our wood because it's dropping like a rock at the moment. Let's do wood right here. We'll get it right on that road. We'll place a barn over here. I guess this barn is up and going, but it's almost full. So yeah, we'll do a barn over here, and I would like a power facility where we produce a lot of power, but I'm not sure where we would do that where it doesn't take too many of our workers. Let's grab the steel card. We'll grab these immigrants cards. We'll grab a raid card in a minute here so that we can do a raid, but I want to get the next power plant up and going, as this will be our way of upgrading our bread facilities. We'll add that right there. Let's go ahead and quick build it. We have medicine in house right now, and we have some medical herb, and it's the spring. So let's switch this over to the medical. Try to get it to where we produce this medicine to get away from the medical herbs. I don't think we can fully get away from it, but at least what we can do is try to alleviate some of it. And then I'd like to swap over, since we've got quite a bit of the herbs, I'd like to swap over to motivation. So let's drop the motivation down and see what we can move this up to. So if we drop double in there, we're at 288. If we did one more level of machinery, we're at 307. It's only going to take a few batches to make this productive. I want to make sure this doesn't shut off. Let's go ahead and prioritize it. And I don't know, maybe we do one more run. Brings us to 325. I think we're in good shape there. Let's pick up a raid card and we'll get the raid going. And we we've got the ability to get another unit by the looks of it. I want to try out the artilleries. I think that's going to be something that we're going to want in order to make the wars go even quicker. Wars are busted, and normally I don't like to abuse mechanics, but the way that this is busted in a, I guess, funny way. I wouldn't have thought that it would have liked that. Let's take a look at our advanced charcoal. So we produce up to 1,000. We do not have 1,000. Let's upgrade the budget. Let's go ahead and give it some work hours. Let's bring it to the electric age. And we're going to want to do the advanced machinery. We're already up to 480 per batch. Let's prioritize this to make sure that it's working. If I have to pull a few people from somewhere else, I think it's going to be well worth it. We'll do the coal conversion for less, as we're currently at 80 to 480, and we'll go ahead and give it the production there. We'll give it the Burners Guild. No, we don't need the Burners Guild because we're not going to have more than one of these, at least at first. Let's move this to 3,000 coal to try to get a little bit of a stock hold there, and we'll give it a double motivation, bringing us up to 686. Since we've got the steel at the moment, we're burning tons of money doing these upgrades, so I'm happy that once the upgrades are done, we shouldn't be in a bad place. We'll give it as many upgrades as we can for the amount of steel that we have, and we'll see if we can bring it to 1,000, which we are just shy. We might be able to spend a point in the policymaker to get 3% extra. We'll go with an extra 3%. We'll give national pride, give it right up to that 100,000 mark. It's ultimately well worth the money that it spends, just because it's going to give us extra production, extra happiness, and that pushes us over 1,000 per batch. That is insane. So we're going to produce our coal that way. We'll get rid of this coal production over here. I don't think that it's necessary anymore. And then one forester will hopefully maintain all of those, and the rest of the foresters will maintain all of the different bakeries. Speaking of the bakeries, we should have some power left over, so we want to take care of the fact that this inventory is full. Let's give it the electricity, brings it to 876. Let's go ahead and take it as far as we can take it, and we're over 1,000 per batch. We should see where food is starting to stabilize as we produce 28,000 last year, so we'll be able to push our population to the extreme now, something that I've wanted to do for a long time. It's absolutely stellar that we can do that. Let's do a hauling post in here, and once our population starts to catch up, the haulers post should become active. We'll go ahead and quick build that, but that will only help the production of the bread. And then if we take a look at our power, I want to see if we have enough to upgrade one more of the bread facilities, which we're at 64 of the 100. So we could upgrade one more. It would bring us to 80 if I remember correctly, and that would give us the ability to upgrade 2 in total. This is good. Let's pick up those immigrants. I don't think we need to do the immigrants, as we're not quite at our housing cap, but we're also not really at a place where I want to wait for food to be stable. And I did move, in preparation for today's episode, I did move the immigration offices down. We'll take a look at that in just a second. But that brings us to up here. So this right here is just a house's downgrade. I'm a little concerned that we're going to have a big fall off of population soon. Let's get rid of these, and I did set those to kill. So it's weird that these ones are still full, but yet those ones are empty. Let's get these turned off or got rid of so that we can get 8 more houses over here. I'm going to wait for the rest of the harvest to get rid of these ones. We'll grab a couple of houses in here first, and I'm a little thrown off over the fact that some of the houses just downgraded, as we just had another one downgrade. We might have a minor recession happen in here where everything downgrades as we are just lacking, but at the moment we have cannabis and we have tulips at the moment. Can we switch another one over to cannabis? And the answer is no. We're gonna have to move this around in order to get more cannabis in production, but that's fine. Next year's harvest will hopefully bring back all of the houses that downgraded. When I get ready for production of chocolate, let's do cattle right here. And I was hoping that we'd have room for more cattle, but it looks like 2 is gonna have to work. And then up here, let's go ahead and get rid of these for the time being. I do want to replace those, but not quite yet. And then I get rid of that. I'll throw that medicine maker to the wayside so that I can move a granary down, because I think I just deleted out 2 granaries, and I will want the cattle ranch. I guess we do granary right here so that both of these are within range, and then we swap that back over to the cattle. We'll do cattle on this side over here. This will give us the ability to have a hauler in the middle. Let's go ahead and take that caps lock back off. I should have left a road in between, but that's not too important. We'll grab our yearly cards, and this will get us ready for chocolate. That gives us room for something back here. Maybe we throw not a large warehouse. Maybe we throw just a regular warehouse back here, and this will give us room for all the leather that this is going to produce. We will throw those passion books back in there, and that will just keep them happy. I don't know that we need to push the cattle quite as far as we would other things. I know in the past, the purchasing of the chocolate was not super, the manufacturing was not super reliant on the milk as much as it was other things. Let's grab those immigrants. Let's grab that passion book. And buying all that steel has taken us from nearly 1 million coins down to 300,000. So we will have to start producing our own steel. Purchasing that much was not maybe a mistake, but at the same time, it's definitely something we're going to want to look after. Those are good to naturally build. So let's take a look at getting a steel facility up and going and see how productive it is. Let's do it over here because we already have the smelter over on this side. So we'll do steel over here. It should be close enough to this city center that we're not going to worry about going into the negative attractiveness of this area. Let's go ahead and quick build it, and let's quick build the Great Hall. I paused it so that we weren't burning the bricks, but I went ahead and bought the bricks anyway. So maybe, I guess what we'll do is instead of quick building it, we'll just let them build since we have the bricks on hand, and we'll go that route. And look at this. We have 21,000 food in the storages. This is amazing. Absolutely amazing. So this takes 62 iron bars and produces 58 steel. Not a very good conversion there. If we up the budget a little bit, up the hours, we can see that it's a little bit ahead, 62 to 83. We give it electric because I think we have enough electric for one. Let's go ahead and check. So we're at 60 of the 100. So if we give it electric, brings us to 87. We go ahead and give it a couple levels. We're only up to 100 per year, per cycle. I'm not sure if this is ultimately worth it. Let's give it the minimization for a minus 30% to what takes to do a badge. We'll go 2 sustainability cards in there to minimize the amount of iron and coal that it takes. It's a little bit better. We will want the open hearth furnace for an extra 40% once we get to level 8 houses. We're nowhere near that, so I'm not too worried about it. And we will want the steelworks town for probably an extra 20%. We'll probably go with, as our population burst, we're probably going to go with 4 of these in order to get that 20%. So I'll go ahead and do it now, but we're not going to be getting to that anytime soon. But at least for now, food is in a stable spot so we can start ballooning our population to really get the population we need for other things. As soon as spring hits, I want to take a look at our population to make sure that we have enough workers, because I have a feeling that we're still having that shift. Granted, we're currently at just shy of 400 of our 440 available people here. So we've got a little bit of room there where we could drop a couple of immigration cards. Let's say 5 of them to bring us to 419. Will give us a few extra people for when the spring hits and we start our harvest. And then our steel is at a point where I think we have to shut off the purchasing of steel until we do a raid. Let's grab the steel card. Let's go ahead and shut down the trade of steel. I think ultimately that was a good thing to do, but at the same time, I think that was an expensive thing to do, as it cost us nearly 900,000. And then we'll maintain our steel the old-fashioned way. Let's grab this immigration card. We are early spring. We can see that we have no extra laborers, so they're in other jobs at the moment. I guess we go ahead and drop a couple more immigrants to try to get us to where we have people standing around. And I don't think that we're going to do it. We're going to bring us right up to that 440 mark, and I don't think we're going to have enough people. Let's grab, I guess, the passion book, and then we'll do a raid to try to get a little bit of that money back. This one looks like it's tier 10. I think that's where we always want to raid. It's 710,000. Yes, please. Let's go ahead and get this going. It's going to take a long time to do that raid, but at least it will recover some of that money that we spent on all that steel. Food's in a good place. We're ready. We're getting ready for the production of chocolate. I think this is a good spot to go ahead and call this episode. I want to say this. I started recording, and Elizabeth, I won't dox the rest of your user ID, but Elizabeth subscribed. A huge shout out to them for subscribing, because I was like thrown off, so I restarted. So thank you for subscribing. Thank you for everybody who's hit that subscribe button over the last few episodes. seeing nearly 100 new people join the channel over the last couple of weeks. So a huge shout out and huge thank you. And we'll see you in the next episode where we go after chocolate.